Welcome to this month's Greg Griffith Leadership Podcast. Join Greg Griffith as we together learn what it means to be leaders of our world as we faithfully love and faithfully lead. Like, share, rate, and review this podcast with your friends and others of influence, for they too are looking for people like you to help them lead and love day to day. Without further ado, here is your host, Greg Griffith.
Well, hello, everyone. It is great to be with you today. And, here's what I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about today. And that really comes down to an attitude of gratitude. I think when we think about those who are leading, whether you're leading large organizations, nonprofit organizations, profit organizations, or small organizations, or even leading in your family, there's something that comes with leading, and that's called the burden, the weight. We all know about it. We've been dealing with it. The weight for us comes in every day. It's really fascinating. I'd be interested to think about how many decisions are made each and every day by every single person, but then also when you're leading an organization, all the decisions that come with that. I think it can be really simple, and I see this all the time. It can be really simple for us to have an attitude of grumpiness or an attitude of mediocrity. And I want to share a couple tips, a couple things that I think are really important when we think about leading our organizations. And I'm going to talk about leading an organization as a church organization, a nonprofit organization, but this definitely can apply to any organization you're in. I think first and foremost, your attitude of every day really does set a tone for the organization. I think it's really important. One thing I found for me, it's very important that for me when I come into my job every day, and I remember when I first became a lead pastor. This was in Macomb, Michigan. I became the lead pastor. I remember parking in my spot, and I remember the first thing there one day. I was looking, and it was just going to be a heavy day. I knew it was going to be a heavy day. There was a lot going on. I think I had some staff issues that I had to deal with. And I remember very distinctly saying to myself, Greg, you can either bring everyone down with you, or you can lift everyone up around you. And so what I ended up doing is I ended up saying to myself, put on a smile. And I just smiled as I walked into the office. Now, let me also say a couple things about that. I think, first of all, that changes our own mentality, our own mindset. So when I walk into an office, I always put on a smile, no matter where I've been or what I'm feeling or what I'm going through at that time. Now, I'm going to be candid with you. I probably need to also do this at home at the end of the day, and I'm not 100% great at that yet. Second thing is, when people ask me, how are you doing? My answer is always the same. And my answer is terrific. And I say I'm doing terrific. I remember one time watching a leader, and their answer always was fine. And I just remember that kind of always set the tone of any of the conversations, where when I say terrific, it automatically brightens that moment and brightens the time with the person. The other thing I think is really important is to acknowledge and to say hi to every person as you walk in. I just say, hello, how you doing, as I walk by. I will not walk by a person's office in the morning as I come in, or a person and not say, hello, how are you doing? I think it's really important for us to do that. All those things, I think, begin to build a culture of kindness, gratitude, and joyfulness in our community. Here's the other thing that's really important is I also write thank you cards every day. I take moments in my private, personal morning devotional time at the office, and for me, that's at 8 a.m. I get in about 8, and from 8 to 8:50 is a time where I just do some scripture, do some reading, and writing of thank yous. And I have 2 or 3 people that I'll just write a handwritten thank you card to and say thank you to them. And it's 2 or 3 people that have come to my mind. But I also then look at and say, who are a couple people that throughout this week or weekend I saw making a difference? And I send them a thank you card, handwritten, signed by me. Again, I think it creates an attitude of gratitude. And by the way, gratitude then cultivates a community of generosity. Generosity is not just money. Generosity is our time and our words. And so how are we cultivating that? Well, it cultivates it by you as a leader sharing that out, right? Being thankful, being joyful, having those moments in those spots. So it's a lot about intentionality. And next month, I'm also going to talk more about intentionality and being intentional in what you're trying to do, because I think that's also very, very important as we think about it. And so I want to invite and encourage you today to think about cultivating a culture of gratitude. And it all begins with your attitude, right? Honestly, I've never had the Mondays. I've never said at the end of the week, well, it's almost Friday, right? Because for me, I want to cultivate a reality that every day is a great day. And it is. Every day is a great day. There might be things that aren't great that happen around us, but the day itself is great. And we can affect and impact change with people and love in their own attitude by simply living out an attitude of gratitude. So what will you say today when someone says, how are you? I'm terrific, and have a great day.
Thank you for being a part of this month's Greg Griffith Leadership Podcast. Join Greg next month for leadership insights to faithfully love and faithfully lead. Now go be terrific today.